I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional unceded territory of the Comox First Nation, and I'm grateful to live, work, and play here in this beautiful place. Reflecting on our own learning journey is essential. It helps us to become more aware of ourselves as teachers, how we communicate with students, and the messages we are sending to them. What are we communicating to students about who they are and what they are capable of? As a kid, I loved school, dance, music, and soccer. I quickly learned the routine of work hard, perform well, achieve success. Life was quite predictable. This pattern of behavior worked for me during my childhood, my youth, and as a young adult, until I became a teacher and my worldview was blown apart. I could work hard, perform well, and please others, but I quickly found out that no amount of extra time or effort could adequately prepare me for the challenges I would face each day at school. Gabor Mate says that there are three main causes of stress: uncertainty, lack of information, and the loss of control. The uncertainty was unbearable, and it stressed me out. I learned that despite all my best efforts, things would almost never work out exactly how I planned. I wouldn't be able to meet the need of every learner in my classroom, and I could not control the outcome on a daily basis. I began reflecting on my own experience as a student and thinking about whether or not I was helping students develop a critical mindset, allowing them time to be creative and take ownership over their learning. As a student growing up, I pretty much never thought about the purpose for learning. I never thought about the why. All I cared about was pleasing my teachers, getting an A, and moving on to the next level. In the adult world, knowing how to work hard has helped me achieve my goals, but it has also led to disappointment and futility. As an adult, I came to the realization that I had to find a new purpose and change my patterns of thinking and behavior. This shift in focus and mindset is still a work in progress for me. I have transformed from a compliant, good student to a critical thinker thanks to some amazing people I've met and the experiences I've had in my life. So how have I changed as a teacher? This year, I've been focusing on the why. My students help me with this daily. They're often asking why. They are deeply curious. And instead of responding with, "You need to know this for grade 4, I flip the question over to them. What do you as the learner think is important? Creators of the Spirals of Inquiry, Judy Halbert and Linda Kaiser, encourage us to ask our students these two questions. What are you learning and why is it important? When we decided to create a class book about learning in nature and taking care of the earth, I enthusiastically dove in and started interviewing students. I was excited about all the great ideas they were contributing to the class book. Then one morning I started worrying that I hadn't taught them enough about global warming yet. I thought I had made a mistake rushing into the interviews and not deeply diving into the why behind learning about environmental sustainability. Their answers wouldn't be what I was looking for. My need to do things the right way in order to achieve success was making me worry if I had messed up. But then I had a light bulb moment. If I had taught them about global warming and told them the why, the purpose for learning, the answers in this book would have been mine. It would have been a direct reflection of the information I had just told them. Allowing space and time for students to develop their own understanding of the why is far more effective than just telling them. Yes, they need to know the focus of our inquiry learning. But if I had just told them the purpose, I believe the learning would not have been as powerful. After proofreading our book together as a class, we had the best discussion. The students were buzzing with excitement as they shared their ideas, reflections, and connections. One student enthusiastically grabbed our marble jar of trust off the shelf and started explaining his own analogy. Doing harmful things to the earth is like taking a marble out of the jar. Taking care of the earth is adding marbles to the jar. So how and when do we unpack the why? This is critical if students are able to see the inherent value in what they are learning. They need to be able to say what they are learning and why it's important. And if they don't know the why, then what's the point in the what? The learning is not going to stick. I absolutely love being a teacher, but it's taken a while for me to start learning how to let go of the need to do everything, be everything, and help everyone. I'm learning how to embrace the uncertainty, be vulnerable, and be okay with not knowing how everything will go. Teaching is about finding balance, letting go of controlling everything while maintaining control as the alpha leader. It's about allowing creativity and critical thinking to flourish, allowing students to take ownership, all while maintaining a calm learning environment. And at the end of the day, we have to reflect. Learn with and from each other, share our stories, and let go of that which we cannot control. So how are my two goals connected? Purpose and letting go. Because if I let go of control, of pre-planning and organizing the learning in a logical manner with little room for uncertainty, this letting go allows space for my learners to share their ideas, to be inspired to think differently, to discover the purpose behind the learning, to feel valued for their contributions, acknowledged for who they are, and to breathe deeply, a little more freely themselves. Purpose and letting go.